Breaking right now at noon, an 11-year-old now dead after a crash in South Charlotte. The new details just into our newsroom.
Plus, Charlotte City leaders expected to take their final vote on the future of Eastland Yards. What we're learning about the project ahead of tonight's vote.
At a popular venue in Gastonia, facing the music as payments skyrocket. How the community is now lending a helping hand to keep those doors open. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us here for the news at noon. I'm Ben Thompson.
And I'm Sarah French. We start with a breaking news update. In just the last few hours, we've learned an 11-year-old girl that was killed in a crash in South Charlotte was a student at Carmel Middle School.
The crash happened Saturday afternoon in a neighborhood along Sharon View Road near Chadwick Place. 4 other people are also hurt. Police say they believe the crash may have been caused by a medical episode of some sort. CMS tells us the grief counselors are on hand there at the middle school on campus. Also breaking at noon, authorities in Salisbury searching for a suspect after a deadly shooting at a fundraising event of all places. It happened last night at an event center on Oak Mountain Road. We're told one person died. Another person was hurt but is said to be stable at this hour. If you have any information that could help, please call Rowan County Crime Stoppers.
Developing at this hour, Mooresville police are searching for a suspect after a shooting leaves a 20-year-old dead. Investigators say Clifton Vandiver died after being shot at the Meadowlark Glen Apartments last night. We're told the shooting appeared to stem from an argument. If you have any information that can help law enforcement, please call the Mooresville Police Department.
Turning now to your forecast and a live look right now over Freedom Boat Club up on Lake Norman. Absolutely a gorgeous start to the week.
Let's send it over to meteorologist Chris Mulcahy with more on your forecast. Hey there, Chris.
Letting you know, plain and simple, today, tomorrow, 2 of the best days that we're going to have this week. But then this thing behind me is going to be the big issue in our forecast. Even though it's not directly affecting us, it's the indirect effects that just completely changed the course of everything in the southeast. So this is Tropical Storm Francine. Officially came down just an hour and 1 minute ago per the National Hurricane Center. Right now, sustained winds at 50 miles per hour. It's got about another 24 to go before we're officially calling it a hurricane. But that is going to mess with our rain chances. Could have an isolated shower or thunderstorm on Thursday, but once you get to Friday and Saturday, rain chances are now likely through the weekend. Now, it depends on where this is going to track, where it stalls out across the United States, about how much rain we're truly going to see. Just note that we are looking at a wetter trend to end the week heading into the weekend. Current temperatures right now, amazing. Just some upper level clouds. 75 degrees in Charlotte, 66 in Boone, and then 75 for you in Lancaster as well. Right now, over at Kannapolis Ballpark, we have temperatures that are getting into the upper 70s most of the afternoon, feeling like 80, so we don't have that mugginess or any really humid air to go around. But as I mentioned, whatever Francine does over the coming days is going to affect us, but that doesn't really happen over the next 24 to even 48 hours. We have high pressure systems going to keep things nice and sunny. So if you want to do anything outside, it's really over the next 3 days that look to be the best, because tonight it's going to be another cool one. Waking up at 55 degrees and the sun is rising up. 84 tomorrow, 82 on Wednesday. This is the day that the clouds start to increase. Thursday is when things change. All of that full weather forecast showing you a sneak peek at the weekend, as well as our dog of the day coming up here shortly.
All right, Chris, thanks. New, we are learning American Airlines is adding more jobs at Charlotte Douglas. The airline says it's creating new roles on its base maintenance team. This will help with additional maintenance checks. In less than an hour, American Airlines will hold a press conference at the airport to share more details. We'll be there and we'll bring you the latest starting right here on the news at 4.
In just a few hours, Charlotte City leaders are expected to vote on the future of Eastland Yards. Leaders have spent the past 2 years deciding what will happen to the old mall site, eventually landing on a multi-million-dollar sports complex.
WCNC Charlotte's Destiny Richards is breaking down what we know ahead of tonight's vote.
City leaders have a $30 million plan to renovate what used to be Eastland Mall. And tonight they'll decide if they should add on more funds to cover more expenses in the project. The Eastland Mall closed in 2010 and was demolished in 2013. This plan would turn that 80-acre plot of land into a new sports and entertainment facility featuring indoor multi-purpose courts, an artificial turf field outside, restaurant space, and more. However, an additional $11.3 million is now needed to cover an uptick in project costs and new infrastructure needs like retaining walls and drainage pipes. Community leaders believe it will be worth it to revitalize the East Charlotte community.
This project specifically in the sports complex side, promises to bring about $169 million in annual economic impact to our region. 500 jobs as well, which is huge. Our community's been starving for economic opportunity for really 2.5 decades.
With the additional funding, the price tag for the project would go up to just over $41 million. City leaders say they hope to have it completed by mid-2026. For WCNC Charlotte, I'm Destiny Richards.
Right now, South Carolina investigating several cases where people had their SNAP benefits stolen. If this happens to you, here's what you do. You contact DSS to see if you qualify for replacement benefits, and you'll also need to order a new EBT card. To avoid becoming a victim in the first place, DSS says you should consider changing your PIN at least once a month. And if you find a defective card reader, don't use it. Instead, notify the store manager.
Now to Gastonia, where a popular music venue was recently left asking, where's the money, after rising interest rates caused the owner's payments to skyrocket.
But as WCNC Charlotte's Julie Kay shows us, the community has now stepped up to keep its doors open.
A benefit raised money for the Rooster after interest rates spiked and the owner fell behind on his payments. He tells me he expected increases, but nothing like this.
This door on a quiet street in downtown Gastonia opens up to a lively music scene inside, thanks to owner Michael Carpenter.
The vibe in this room is always positive, open arms.
And thanks to a loan from the Small Business Administration in 2022.
They don't give you a fixed rate. And, at the time, it didn't seem to matter much.
That loan required to have an adjustable interest rate, so Carpenter expected increases. But this,
my interest rate went from 6% to 11.75%.
Beyond what he had planned for.
Imagine if your mortgage doubled tomorrow.
His interest rates have increased every month for the last 14 months, nearly doubling. His bank telling him they can renegotiate the loan if he got up to date with his payments, $40,000 worth of them. So he opened up his doors one more time.
But I decided to give one last try, to raise some money and call upon the community that we built this place for.
After a successful benefit, they've raised nearly all the funds with just a few thousand left.
Hearing some of the things people have said about how much they want us to be here has been extremely encouraging.
So thanks to the community and the outpouring of support,
and I've been on the brink of tears quite a bit,
this door will stay open.
That was our Julie Kay reporting. Meantime, North Carolina's first and only marijuana dispensary is now open. Great Smoky Cannabis opened up in Cherokee to all adults over the weekend. Over 300 people showed up to the opening on Saturday. However, marijuana remains illegal in North Carolina, and state residents could be charged once they leave the area.
Still to come here on WCNC Charlotte, it is time to check your fridge. Why the CDC is urging you to throw away 2 brands of eggs.
Plus, dangerous wildfires now forcing thousands to evacuate in California. We're on the ground with the latest conditions.
And it's time for our dog of the day. This is Gracie, a 4-year-old boxer, and I've heard great things about Gracie. Gracie, I hear that you are a wonderful cuddler, loves cuddles, and you think you're a lap dog. I know that my dog Romeo, who's 80 pounds, thinks the same thing. 75 degrees, that's what we're at right now. We have some upper level clouds, but all in all, it's going to be a sunshine-filled day. Temperatures getting into the upper 70s, so great for dogs and humans. If you would like to put your pet in this window, just do what Deanne did. Just message me on Facebook. Looking forward to it.
And as we go to break, still time to join the United Way as they work to clean up areas in the North Graham, North Tryon neighborhoods just outside of Uptown. They're looking for folks who can volunteer Thursday, September 19th, 9:30 in the morning until noon. If you do sign up, you'll help with projects and clean up the area or pack supply kits for nonprofit agencies. All you got to do to register is go to our website, WCNC.com/community.
Mornings on WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks for starting your day with us.
It's news that impacts you.
The latest news from overnight.
Prepare for your day every day with the weather impact forecast and road conditions with Impact Traffic. WCNC Charlotte. News that impacts you.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it. What do we mean when we say in pain, call Shane?
It means if you're hurt in a car wreck,
you call Shane Smith.
In a car wreck and don't know what to do? If you're in pain, you call Shane.
In a car wreck, call Shane now.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
This is you, and this is your first hunch of the season.
It's parlay time.
With FanDuel, a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV will give you many more.
Buffalo. It's Broncos time.
I'd take the over.
And you can easily act on whichever one speaks to you.
Eagles, Browns, Broncos, Bills. They all look good.
And make every moment more.
New customers bet $5 get $200 in bonus bets. Plus, every customer gets a 3-week free trial of NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube TV. Only from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
The attacks against Attorney General Josh Stein are unfair and untrue.
As North Carolina's top law enforcement official,
Josh Stein aggressively prosecuted murderers and drug traffickers
and put more rapists behind bars.
Josh has always supported law enforcement.
Josh supports strong border security.
Josh worked across party lines
to stop fentanyl from coming across the border.
And to protect our kids from sexual predators.
Josh is tough.
He's tested
and ready to be governor.
I was just riding my motorcycle when a driver who was texting merged right into me. Who I chose as my lawyer was critical in my situation.
Injured in a car wreck? Call me, Shane Smith. In pain? You know what to do. Call Shane.
Water in your basement can cause big problems for you and the value of your home. Canty Foundation Specialist provides the best basement waterproofing solutions available. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Question everything and verify with WCNC Charlotte. Taking questions, seeking experts for the answers, and sharing the knowledge to distinguish fact from fiction. WCNC Charlotte is guiding the way.
Here's what's happening across the Carolinas. An investigation is underway this morning after a former Clemson football star was killed in a shooting. Former wide receiver DeAndre Overton was shot at a house party in Greensboro over the weekend. There's a $5,000 reward for information on his murder. Officials are investigating after an abandoned building in Lexington went up in flames. The two-story building was boarded up and vacant. Fortunately, nobody was injured. A runway is back open this morning after a plane was grounded at Raleigh-Durham International Airport. Officials say the flight experienced gear failure after takeoff. The runway was temporarily shut down while the plane was fixed. And that's what's happening across the Carolinas.
Now to a few recalls that could impact you and your family. Right now, the CDC is recalling egg cartons from Milo's Poultry Farm or Tony's Fresh Market. That's because the brands have been linked to a salmonella outbreak. At least 65 people in 9 states have gotten sick. 24 had to be hospitalized.
Meantime, more than 1.2 million Ram trucks are being recalled due to issues with their brake systems. According to the NTSB, the Ram 1500s have a software malfunction in the anti-lock brake system. The vehicles impacted range from model years 2019 to 2024. If you own one, you can take it into your local dealership for a free fix.
Now to the out-of-control wildfires burning across California. More than a dozen active fires are being fueled by an unrelenting heat wave.
The most dangerous near Los Angeles has already forced thousands to evacuate. NBC's Diana Griffin is on the ground with the latest.
Thousands have been forced to evacuate their homes as the line fire in the San Bernardino National Forest quickly spreads. The blaze quadrupling over the weekend to more than 20,000 acres, threatening 35,000 homes and buildings.
So it started getting thick in the air. You started seeing chunks of bark and things that were flying that had been burned. And at that point, we decided that this is not a good place to be.
The area, located in the mountains 60 miles east of Los Angeles, has been dealing with a sweltering heat wave recently, with record-breaking temperatures in the triple digits. Thunderstorms bringing gusty winds and lightning, making the job for firefighters more difficult. You can hear the thunder nearby. This is making the firefight challenging because lightning can spark a new fire at any moment.
That's the problem with this fire is we can't predict where it's going to go next.
Governor Gavin Newsom proclaiming a state of emergency Sunday, freeing up funds to bring in critically needed resources. Meanwhile, a new blaze in Northern California is also spreading quickly. The Boyles Fire has burned dozens of structures and forced more than 4,000 people to evacuate. Now firefighters statewide hoping a break in the weather will help them get the upper hand.
It's awful.
Scary.
Yeah, when you have one area that's seeing excessive rain like the southeast has been seeing recently, the other one gets the drier end, so it's all about equilibrium. But today is one of the better days that we have.
Good.
Focusing in on the good here locally. 81 degrees, it feels amazing, so we have comfortable air. You will notice that off in the distance it looks pretty cloudy. There's just some upper level clouds, but that means most of the sun's rays are still hitting the surface. A beautiful one, either side of 80 degrees, can't go wrong. Today's one of the best feeling days that we have. I'm going to get right to it. Check it out. Here's our 10-day forecast. Today to tomorrow, that's really going to be our sweet spot. That's where it feels the best. It's pretty warm as well. Clouds start to increase and then temperatures come down. So the more clouds that you have, the more rain that you have, the cooler the temperatures get for our highs. It's the inverse for our lows. We are looking at crystal clear conditions, still some very dry conditions. That's going to tank us into the mid-50s back-to-back mornings and nights. But then you notice that we come right back up to the mid-60s. This is indicative that we're seeing an excess amount of cloud cover. And you put it all together for our rainfall chances, you can see it right there. So that's why Friday and Saturday look to be our coolest days, our warmest lows, and our best chance for rain. After this system moves, and this system is going to be just a bunch of pieces attached to whatever Francine's going to do, I think we're going to keep an active rainfall forecast that at least pop-up showers and thunderstorms are going to be the norm. So here's Tropical Storm Francine. Right now, sustained winds at 50 miles per hour. Once it gets to 74, it's officially a hurricane. I think this is going to go into what's called a rapid intensification, and even 85 miles per hour might be a little low for what this system really can do. It's often these open waters that you can kind of go a couple of categories within 24 hours. Wouldn't be surprised if this does jump up to at least Category 2 strength before it makes landfall here in Louisiana. That's not what really affects us in the Carolinas. What's going to happen is once this moves inland, so this is Thursday to Friday, so I think it makes landfall Wednesday evening, Wednesday night, it slows down. So this will just be the remnants of the system at that point, but then it stalls everything down towards the south. It's such a massive system, takes up most of the energy, and it controls everything that's already in place. So here's what Francine looks like at 8 a.m. on Thursday. At that point, it develops a little bit of a tail here, that almost comma cloud that we typically see through the middle part of the United States. It's this rain right here that's centralized over Florida into Georgia. That's what's going to be affecting us, one, on Thursday, but I think mainly on Friday. It's all about what this stationary front does. So I'll be honest with you, there's still too many questions to answer about exactly what our weekend forecast is going to do. Number one, it will be cooler. Number two, it will be cloudy. Here's the big difference. It's wherever the stationary front's going to set up. If this system is a little bit further off towards the east, we're definitely going to get rain. If it's a little bit further off towards the west, starts to curve this way, it's going to be more of a cloudy forecast. But it's really where this axis sets up that we're going to see most of the rain. So just keep that in mind. If you have any weekend plans, it looks like the system stalls out. So wherever the stationary front's going to be, that area is just going to get several inches of rain across a couple of days. There is a little bit of hope here, so don't cancel any plans. Just keep this in the back of your mind. Also note that tomorrow officially is the absolute peak of hurricane season, but it still goes on for another month that we have the most activity. We hit a big lull, but now we're really starting to catch up for lost time. Francine happened today, but Gordon and Helene are likely happening very soon. So what's going to happen is these two waves. This first one that likely will be Gordon will likely form in the next 24 to 40 hours, so the next 2 days. This other one right here, it's about day 3 to 7 that we're going to have it right behind here. So we have multiple waves that are starting to form. A tropical storm, whenever they start to form here, they rapidly intensify. That's also going to affect the back end of our forecast, so keep that in mind. So our Guy Roofing 7-day forecast, today, tomorrow, Wednesday, those are the best days. Thursday's kind of the transition day that I think you start to see more clouds, a slight rain chance, and then Friday, we're for sure going to know that system is going to do with us. So just anticipate more rain and storms and a cooler forecast heading into the weekend.
Coming up, the Panthers licking their wounds. A closer look at what went wrong in that season opener.
We are truly resilient individuals, but we must recognize our own resilience. We must uplift those who struggle to lift themselves and show compassion to those who find it difficult to love themselves. Now is the time for communities to come together and support one another. Forgiveness for past wrongs is essential for our collective healing. My friend, we have the potential to be stronger than we've ever been before. We can't address problems if we're contributing to them. As we move forward, remember your constant strength as we forge forward in a new beginning. I believe your voice can echo louder than any personal situation you're currently facing. This is Coach Lamont urging you to make today the best version of yourself. I'll see you tomorrow.
The Carolina Chevy Storm Tracker, only on WCNC Charlotte.
See our legal team. See our passion. See our experience.
If you've been the victim of a serious accident, trust CR Legal Team to stand up for you.
Commitment, results. Call 888-THE-TEAM.
A wide open border, nearly 500,000 illegals right here in North Carolina. Woke Josh Stein is to blame. Stein went to court over 15 times to block President Trump from securing our border. Stein ignored sanctuary cities, while over 500 illegals were released from jail. Sex offenders, kidnappers, murderers set free. Woke Josh Stein put his politics over your safety.
But when it comes to replacing windows, you can really mess things up if you don't know what you're doing. So we definitely called the professionals.
We had done some shopping around and gotten some quotes from some other companies, and the best part is UWD price matched those quotes.
I think the most impressive thing is just their lifetime warranty. That's such a big selling feature for us.
For a limited time, buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and 60 months interest-free financing. Schedule today. This offer won't last.
When you're injured, you have a lot to lose or a lot to gain.
I needed help, so I called an experienced law firm.
James Scott Farron.
The Hurt Line.
A law firm with a track record of results.
One with experience.
This may be your one opportunity to go after all the money you may deserve. Tell the insurance company you mean business. If you've been injured in an accident, call on the Hurt Line, the law offices of James Scott Farron, right now.
Check it out, okay?
Great DraftKings offer and NFL Plus? I feel like I just scored.
Best touchdown dances all time.
Probably don't even know about this. This old school right here.
Oh, you want old school?
I see what you're doing.
Oh, you don't see nothing. You don't want this heat.
No, man, that ain't heat. I'm gonna hit you with this right here. Get nasty on it. Touchdown! I didn't know that was gonna break.
Get out.
Respect.
With DraftKings, new customers bet $5 to get $250 instantly in bonus bets and a month of NFL Plus Premium. The crown is yours.
Kamala Harris cast the tie-breaking vote that created America's inflation.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the bill is passed.
Economists said Harris's vote led directly to the higher prices we pay. 22% more for groceries, 50% more for gas. Mortgage costs nearly double. Thanks a lot, Kamala. Trump had our economy humming. He'll do it again.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
See our legal team. See our impact. See our results.
If you've been the victim of a serious accident, trust CR Legal Team to stand up for you.
Commitment, results. Call 888-THE-TEAM.
We're following breaking news from the Carolina Panthers. A league source just confirming to sports director Nick Carboni, Pro Bowler defensive lineman Derek Brown could be out for the season. That source saying Brown suffered a knee injury in yesterday's game against the Saints. He's going to have surgery, but details past that aren't clear yet. This injury just the latest blow for a team that lost 47-10 in their season opener.
Well, we said the Panthers couldn't be worse than last year, right? Well, at least in the first game, they were. Here with Locked On Panthers host Julian Council. First of all, Julian, you are talking Panthers every single day on Locked On. Where can people watch and listen to you talk about this game at New Orleans.
Yes, thank you, Nick, for reminding me that I have the great blessing of talking about the Carolina Panthers every Monday through Friday over on YouTube or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts, either Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, anywhere, Monday through Friday. That's where you can check me out.
All right, Julian, just one game, but fans were already looking at 2025 draft-eligible quarterbacks after that first Bryce Young interception. What was the most concerning thing, do you think, about the quarterback's performance on Sunday?
The most concerning thing was all of it. The fact that after 16 starts last season, Bryce Young still looks like a quarterback who is not comfortable in the pocket, even though I felt like overall the offensive line held up. It wasn't the leakage we saw last season when they had to start different left guards and right guards every game and where Ike Ekwonu was struggling. The fact that he was not comfortable in the pocket, the fact that he was not accurate, which led to both of the interceptions that he had and also led to multiple times where the team had to punt on third down or on fourth down after not converting on third down. That was the most concerning thing. The fact that he's not comfortable in the offense, the fact that he's not accurate, the fact that he doesn't seem confident. Those are big red flags for somebody entering into his second year. Understanding new offensive scheme, new play caller, but man, you should feel more comfortable as a second-year starter in the NFL.
We were at training camp basically every practice, and right here in this studio, we said, at least mentally, Bryce Young looks like a different guy than finished last season. Yeah. But in the Superdome, did you see him still look a little shell-shocked from 2023?
Yes. When I talk about him not looking comfortable in the pocket, he looked jittery. He did not look like somebody who was willing to sit in there, even though there wasn't a ton of pressure. I have to go back, watch the tape. That's things coaches love to say instead of answering questions. I have to go back and rewatch it. But just from first watch, didn't feel like he was under siege like he was a year ago. I understand there were 3 separate times where Alontae Taylor came on that nickel blitz. I blame that more on the play caller Canales not being able to scheme that up. But aside from that, it wasn't like he was constantly under duress. So the fact that we saw him not look comfortable in the pocket, not be accurate when he had time to throw, those are alarming things to see from Bryce Young in this first game.
Julian Council from Locked On Panthers. This entire segment is on WCNC Charlotte's YouTube page.
Nick, thanks. Now for a look at what's coming up this afternoon. Starting at 4 o'clock right here on WCNC Charlotte. A fundraising event in Salisbury turns violent. One person killed. Another hurt after a shooting. We'll have the latest on that investigation. Plus, a new bank coming to the Carolinas and its headquarters is going to be setting up shop right here in the Queen City. And a new social media trend taking off, the airport tray aesthetic. However, a lot of travelers say it's making TSA lines even more of a hassle. We'll explain those stories and a lot more coming your way starting at 4 o'clock right here on WCNC Charlotte.
All right, final look at that forecast.
If you are doing any travel, especially late week, keep a close eye on what Francine's going to do because it's even going to affect our forecast. Even though it doesn't do it directly, it still changes the weather pattern down the southeast. So today, tomorrow, and Wednesday are the best days of the week. Those will be the sunniest days, feeling really comfortable as well. Temperatures in the lower to the mid-80s. Also, overnight tonight, so tomorrow right around sunrise. Also, the same thing goes heading into your Wednesday morning. Yeah. It is going to be feeling definitely like fall, starting off in the mid-50s. But you notice those temperatures start to come down, 79 to 76 to 77. That is indicative that we're increasing the cloud cover and then we're starting to change things up. It's at that point that we get a stationary front that slides in. That's going to up our rain potential, especially late Friday heading into Saturday. A lot can still change, so stay up with us. And we'll keep you in the know as Francine will likely make landfall in the next couple of days.
All right, good to know. Our next newscast is at 4 o'clock this afternoon.
I will see you back here tomorrow morning starting at 4:30 a.m.
Download the WCNC app on these devices.